so we'll just start with the first question. And thank you, Katie, again for taking the time to have a chat. Um, Tell me about sort of your current job, maybe. So this is Katie, and Katie works for the Wellington Regional Emergency Management Office, and we're going to just have a little chat about your job. So maybe just you could start with what your job is and what kind of things you do and what you're responsible for in your current role.
Sure thing. Thanks, Eva, and thanks for having me too. It's really cool to be here. So as you said, I work for the Wellington Region Emergency Management Office, which coordinates civil defence, as it's more commonly known, I suppose, on behalf of the 9 councils in the Wellington region. But what I actually do is I work in the Community Resilience and Recovery team. So I look after a certain patch of Wellington City, the southern and eastern parts of Wellington, and I work directly with communities. So I spend all kinds of time, whether it's weekends or after work, and we spend time together doing preparedness, resilience activities, and really just sort of building the capacity of the community to respond in case of a large disaster. So a big part of that work program is also looking after 16 community emergency hubs, which are places for the community to gather in case of a large disaster. And so I run response practices where the community come together and give it a real go, and also look after the equipment and radios and all kinds of things. So every day looks different, and I really love what I do.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I guess, for you, this was the first job you kind of got from walking out of your degree. And what kind of skills did you find useful? Maybe skills and knowledge areas from your degree did you find useful that you've been able to use in your current role?
For sure. I think one of the biggest ones that I think about often was putting together like presentations and public speaking skills. I remember at the time during my degree, to be a bit transparent, I was kind of like, why are we doing this? This feels, standing in front of all our class and talking about these things, like surely we could just write an essay about it. But actually, I spend so much of my time talking to large groups of people, to pulling together PowerPoint presentations last minute, to talk to groups that come in to visit about what we do, and just those skills of pulling all the information together, being able to present it sort of with the right amount of time and all that kind of thing, has been a really important skill. So that's a very tangible skill that I gained. But certainly some of the things that I think about often are the sort of strengths-based approach that the Bachelor of Health takes in terms of whatever you study. I happen to study health psychology and health promotion, and a lot of the interventions or programs that we were looking at always came from that strengths-based sort of background, and that's something that I've really channeled into my work that I do in the community, is really not just thinking about what we can do or how we're going to fix them or how we're going to make our communities more resilient. I've actually, got that background of thinking about what can the community already bring to the table, how can we build on what they're already doing, and just sort of, thinking more broadly about what the community does, instead of coming at it in a way that I need to fix what they're doing. And then one other thing that I'll mention too is the big focus on Te Tiriti o Waitangi, that throughout the School of Health, it was just brought up everywhere, and the comfortability and advocacy, I suppose, around what that looks like has also played a really good role in figuring out how I can be the best ally I can be to all of our communities, but including, our Māori community as well. So I think those are the top 3 things that I would think about.
And when you started the degree, did you think this would be the kind of job you'd get into?
No way. I actually didn't know what I wanted to do, and that's why I studied the Bachelor of Health. I saw it as a opportunity to open some doors. I knew that I was really passionate about people. I was passionate about working with people, and I, just wanted to be able to make a difference and feel like I was doing really good work. I guess that was what it all came back to. And so the Bachelor of Health seemed like a place where I could channel all of that passion and interest into actually doing some study. And that's what it did. And then when it came towards the end of my degree, I was like, I'm really passionate about this and I really love what I do, but how am I going to turn this into a job.
Yeah.
And so it came back to why I started the Bachelor of Health to begin with, which was I really love working with people and I want to feel like I'm making a difference and I want to be out in the community doing things. And so that's what I started to look for when I was looking for a job. And that's what brought me to come across this job in emergency management. So not what I thought I would be doing, but it meets all of those things. I'm working with communities. I feel like I'm making a change. I'm learning heaps on the job. And yeah, it really fits all of those things that I was looking for.
Fantastic. That's really great to hear, because I think, yeah, it can be a bit overwhelming when you start, finish school and be like, what do I want to be? And to recognize that actually maybe picking something with a broader skill set that I guess, it sets you off into this particular direction. But I don't know how you feel about how it gave you just scope to go into different directions with the sort of what you got from the degree.
Yeah, for sure. I think the beauty of the Bachelor of Health is that the skills are so transferable and so broad reaching. Like it's not specifically how to do X, Y, and Z. It's more starting to add a bit of structure or I guess critical thinking to some of the topics that we thought of. And so it wasn't necessarily about the content that we learnt, it was more about the way in which we talked about it or the way in which we learned about it or the way it was even assessed. Those are the kinds of things that I've been able to now carry on into my job. And I think that's why the Bachelor of Health it opened up so much more opportunity than I ever thought, because it wasn't just, a prescriptive program where I was going to be X at the end of it. It just shaped and helped me grow into where I am now. So yeah.
Awesome. That's really great to hear, and I think what all of us intend. So it's really great to hear when that is translated, and when we hear those experiences like you're sharing. What would you say to someone who's like just graduating with the Bachelor of Health and kind of embarking on this first part of their journey? You've been out of it. How long have you been in the role? Is it
2 years?
2 years now?
Yeah.
So, you've got a little bit under your belt, and maybe thinking back to, when you're just coming out and looking at what you might do.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. First of all, congratulations for finishing your Bachelor of Health. It's an awesome achievement. My biggest piece of advice, probably if I'm looking at it as, Katie 2 years ago, would be to be brave, to be bold, and to know that you know more than you think you do. I think that was something I have come to learn over the last couple of years, is that sometimes being your own biggest cheerleader will set you up in the best way, and taking that leap of faith in whether it's a job, whether it's a new opportunity, just backing yourself to do it, but also taking the support from those around you to have that support too. So I had, awesome lecturers and tutors and people like Eva in my corner who were ready to help and provide, whatever they could to help set me up on my way. So yeah, I think be your own biggest cheerleader, but also be certain to draw down into that support network that you have too, because certainly the way I felt when I left the Bachelor of Health or the School of Health was that it wasn't just about the degree, it was also about the connections and the people that I met. And so don't forget that, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, the relationships are so important. And I think, great that you brought that up, because I always agree. I think it's really awesome to stay connected and to build those relationships. So really, really awesome. And maybe just from that other end, really briefly, what would you say, I guess, to someone who's like trying to decide what to study and thinks they might be interested in health, or they just maybe don't know at all what they want to do? What might drive them to pick, the Bachelor of Health?
Well, the Bachelor of Health in itself just has so much opportunity, but also so much flexibility. So when I first came in, I had picked my major as health psychology because I was interested in health and psychology, and that's what I decided. But as you sort of get your first year and you experience all of the first year papers and have other opportunities from around the university, it's so flexible. You can actually pick different parts. And so I picked up a second major in health promotion, which I also absolutely adored. And so I think if it's something that even piques your interest, just give it a go. Know that you're not setting yourself off down this path that you can't come back from. You can pick and choose, and it's flexible, and it's just really amazing. The people in the School of Health, I think, are what makes it one of the best degrees, if I'm a little biased. And that, there's just the tutors, the lecturers, everybody just wants to see you succeed. And so it's a small, well, it was when I was there, a smaller school, so everybody knows everybody. And it's just, people who really care about what they do and want to sort of share that knowledge. So just give it a go is my biggest thing. Don't think about it too hard. Just give it a go. Know that you can change it if you don't like it, but I'm almost certain that you will.
Thank you so much, Katie. It's really lovely to hear, because I think we do all know each other very well, but our students too, and it's just so rewarding to obviously see all that you get up to and the things you have taken with you as well. We thought it'd just be fun lastly to kind of share if you have a standout memory from your time studying health that kind of is stuck with you.
I was thinking about that before jumping on this call, and I was trying to pick just one thing. I think studying in the School of Health, but also Victoria University, there's just so much opportunity to get involved, not just in the School of Health, but also in the wider university. And so I actually have two things.
That's fine.
And so one of them was I ran the fruit and veggie co-op with one of my friends, Georgia, which was like a real life health promotion activity that we got to do for the university community, and it was just amazing. So with a group of volunteers, and we just packed fruit and veggies and jammed to music at like 7 a.m. on a Thursday, and it was just it was awesome, and it was really great just learning some of those. It was just a real life program that was helping people, and it was just awesome. I look back at it so fondly.
Great.
And then the other one, I was also, I got a summer research scholarship, which was an awesome opportunity to work with Dr. Ali Gibson. And we were working on a project about dating during COVID-19. And it was just really awesome. And I had so much opportunity throughout that to present at a conference, to meet more academics who were also doing amazing work. And it was just such a cool time to spend the summer in Wellington, which I wouldn't have normally been able to do, and to do some research, learn some new skills, and just have some amazing opportunities to put myself out there. So those are my two highlights from.
Great. And what I find really interesting is that both of those are, in a way, ways of applying your learning that you've been doing. And so I think really that rewarding, the reward that comes from being able to put some of those skills and those things that you're learning into practice. So that's awesome. And I think one thing we really try to support and encourage for students as much as possible is to have those opportunities. So thank you so much for sharing those with us, and thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thanks, Eva. No problem at all.